ukabila ndio kwao. Hardcore shafika, ukweli na hakika, kadiri na shika, furaha wala hiki, kwenda kwa mashabiki, waji kuziki, beef na fiki, hit na dhiki, muda muna wiki, mimi na himziki, split ni mukiki, kutafuta ziki, kwa makini mfulisa, mchima la sili, feel me.
Don't you know we're talking about a revolution song?
And that is Brother Taalik from the Reality Temples on Earth channel. And if you get a chance to subscribe, please do subscribe to his channel. He's a good brother. You know, he's doing good work, and he wants to do good constructive things. He has good information to provide. So please do check out his channel if you get a chance.
We are together. I am your brother. I am your friend. And that is the way we should look at one another. And as citizens of a nation, each citizen should look at another American as a brother and a sister. But unfortunately, due to injustice, exploitation, oppression, so many sicknesses and evils that continue to occur, in fact, created this nation, the great nation that the president-elect talks about. It cannot come into a reality. It cannot come into fruition. And in reality, it never was. Because what it was that made it great, it was founded on a wicked, evil foundation that has to be temporary. There is no way that such a thing could continue to exist, leeching off of others. Sooner or later, just like the great empire of Rome or Egypt and all these great nations, the only thing that is left of Rome and Egypt and some of these other great civilizations and nations, the only thing left now is a bunch of rocks. The only thing that would be left of what we call the United States of America would be a bunch of old cars, some nuclear waste. This is the reality. And this is the fear. This is the fear that this new president-elect will cause the beginning of the end of what should have been a great nation. I welcome you again to what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth. I want you to also be patient with me as we talk and bear with me as we carry on this conversation. I am a bit fatigued, but I truly want to talk to us about this current state that we find ourselves in, because whether we like it or not, it affects everyone who lives within the borders of this nation called the United States of America. A place whereas the president-elect, Mr. Donald J. Trump, wishes to make America great again. And he was placed in office because there are many mentalities that want or wish the same thing as the president-elect. And this is a reality. There are many different minds in America. Unfortunately, we don't have respect for one another. We can't be civil with one another. And we want to talk about why. It is very simple. Why? I want to talk or speak a little bit about the political atmosphere in this nation. I generally do not speak about the political activities of this nation because truly, really, I don't care. I will say that again. I don't care. I don't care who is in power. I don't care if you are Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if it was Hillary Clinton. I don't care if it was Barack Obama again or if it was Bill Clinton. Now that it's Donald Trump, I don't care. They are all the same to me. My focus, my purpose, my motivation is to separate from this nation. And if you separate from this nation, you don't have to worry about their politics. You don't have to worry about what they say or what they do. Anything that you do, your activity, your motivation should be separating yourself from a nation that has clearly been crumbling for the last some odd years. This is why Mr. Donald J. Trump says we must make America great again. In other words, it's not great right now. And if you have dark skin living in this nation, you wonder, or you should wonder, what is he talking about? Because for going on 500 years, if you have dark skin living in this nation, you have suffered housing discrimination, employment discrimination, murder and rape and lynchings, and all kinds of evils have been done to you going on 500 years. I don't care if you vote. I don't care if you fight in the military service. I don't care what a so-called black man does. I don't care what a descendant of a slave born in America, coming forth from the people of soul. I don't care what we do in this nation, whether we sag our pants or we don't, whether we cuss or we don't. No matter what we do, we cannot please the dominant society in this country. We will be treated like fifth-class citizens. And those who gain a little money, notoriety, they can live a little bit comfortable, they ignore it. Because if you are Oprah Winfrey, your money buffers you. But Oprah knows that in this nation, in the eyes of many, she is still viewed as a nigger. Michael Jordan knows he is still viewed as a nigger. Vanessa Williams knows she is still viewed as a nigger. All our celebrities and all our big shots and all, no matter where they find themselves in life in this nation, they know at any time they will be viewed as a nigger. And you cannot rise above the people you come from. However, they live in their own fantasy world. This is why America is crumbling, because it's not dealing, and its leadership is not dealing with the reality that this nation faces day in and day out, and be real with what it has done and what it really needs to do in order to clean itself up, in order to stop the crumbling process. Let's talk about that. The mission and the purpose of this ministry, the ultimate goal, is to fulfill. I am not religious, but I concur with religious teachings when it comes to oppressed people, that the oppressed people must exodus from their oppressor. So we can live here because we have to live here. And you can even separate yourself in neighborhoods, or you could even create a state just for black folks. But that is not enough. We must exodus. We must separate from an oppressor. We must separate from a people because we should not and we do not belong together. There's a reason why creatures in nature, they are separated. Has nothing to do with hate. You are not meant to live together. That's why this is such a problem. Slavery was an unnatural situation. And you brought two people together that should not be interacting with one another in no kind of manner. And then when you did it, you did not do it because you want to be my friend. You want me to lift that bars, lift that bell, do your work for you. You were evil to me, unjust to me, unfair, wicked and nasty and vile, even till this day. How many black men and women are murdered in this nation, and the court system allows the murderer to go free? This is not a coincidence. This is purposeful intent. It is the norm. It is expected. Now there's a fear. Something is going on that's causing a fear in the hearts of those who have caused fear to others. And the fear is not of black people, the people of soul. It's not a fear of the Chinese or even the North Koreans or anybody. It's the fear of themselves, because they are putting themselves in a position to destroy themselves, self-destruction. And when many view the president-elect Donald Trump, they see the beginning of the end of their nation. I was in a public bathroom. I was washing my hands, and a pink Caucasian gentleman was washing his hands right next to mine, and I don't know, there was something in him he wanted to get out. I was washing my hands, and he just wanted to get this out, and he saw me. I guess I looked like I could be talked to, so he decided to speak with me, and he began to talk about Donald Trump. And in his eyes, like I said, Donald Trump, in his eyes, is a symbol of the beginning of the end of a nation that he loves. He does not see anything good coming from Donald Trump. Now this guy, this fella, this person, this citizen of this nation, who belongs to the dominant society, in Donald Trump, he sees another great war, if not a nuclear war. He sees starvation. He sees natural disaster. He sees the end. And I could look in his eyes. I could see the terror. He talked about his grandchildren and the future, his future generations. It does not look good in his eyes. I don't know why they don't see this when they spoke of Hillary. Because when you look at Hillary and the Democratic Party, they have built this facade, a delusion that everything is all right. Nothing is happening. We got things under control, and which is a lie. Anyone with any kind of eyes, any kind of ears can see that this nation is crumbling. So that is why we need to make America great again. The response from election night that President, or rather the candidate Donald Trump was winning, brought and began to bring tears to the eyes of the Clinton campaign and their supporters, crying, upset, mad, and angry because they believe the hype of the media. And we want to talk about this. The media actually was on the side of Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Day in and day out. I'm very sure that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats and the people of soul, the lost, misguided people of soul, the dark-skinned people of America called black, Negro, African Americanus and all that stuff. They was hoping for this Caucasian woman to easily defeat the racists, the sexists, and all these names they was calling Donald Trump, of which Donald Trump is a symbol of the normal Caucasian male in this nation. I don't know why you are upset. You don't want to deal with the reality. There is nothing moral, there's nothing good about this nation. So when you drive down the street, you don't notice the strip clubs? Donald Trump did not create strip clubs. You don't notice, or you don't know about the houses of prostitution and the prostitutes on the street? Who are their customers? Who is going to the houses of prostitution? Who is going to the strip bars? And some of these women are married to their husband and know their husbands go to these strip clubs. What is that? That's sexism. That's exploitation of women. It is the norm in America. And many times when a woman is raped in the courts, the woman is made to look like the victim. You should have wore a longer skirt. You should not have been dancing around like that and enticing that man. You know how it goes in this country. But see, this nation needs a reality check. And perhaps the new president-elect will bring that reality check and understand. Maybe this is the man, this is the person that can take this nation out of its downward fall and truly make it a real great nation, which is beneficial to all of its citizens, not just the dominant society, which is Caucasian pink people. So you had the media you had the media, you had the polls, everything was on the side of Hillary Clinton. Now you must understand this. I believe that this nation is ready for a female president. However, I know that Hillary Clinton is not the one. What must be understood in this nation, that there are many women who believe, and they are conditioned to see, that it is men who are supposed to lead the family. It is men who are supposed to lead the nation. The leader of the free world, the leader of this nation should be a man. Hillary Clinton is nice, but a woman is not head of household. That is the traditional thinking of this nation, and we see that this is true because many women of whom Hillary Clinton thought was going to vote for her voted for Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump represents and is a symbol of that strong Caucasian, confident male with blonde hair, blue eyes, and all that kind of good stuff. Hillary Clinton does not represent that. Also, Hillary Clinton was part of a movement talking about we're going to change this and change that, and they have done a poor job of it, presenting to the American people just painted delusions and cover-ups and all this nonsense, and that time was over. Barack Obama did his job. He helped get this nation out of a dire situation. If it had got worse, then we can just blame the nigger. That was the purpose of Barack Obama. Fortunately, he was able to help get this country up out of that, and now his time is over. Now it's time to give it back to the real leader, and that is a Caucasian male, Donald Trump or otherwise. It is a traditional belief in this nation that men should lead. And now a man, a Caucasian man, is leading this nation. The response by Hillary Clinton or the supporters of Hillary Clinton was to go out in the street and riot. Not protest. They were rioting, setting stuff on fire and acting silly and stupid, being sore losers. You lost. That's the bottom line. You lost. You put in your head, we got this. That's your fault. You underestimated this man. I know myself, as I travel back and forth, I never really saw Hillary Clinton signs in people's yards. I saw a lot of Trump. I saw Trump billboards, a lot of signs on people's yards, Trump. So I knew something here was going on. But see, we watch TV, and many of you don't really travel, you don't do anything, so you really don't know what's going on. You believe everything that the TV say, and guess what? The TV lied to you, and you were shocked. I was not shocked that Donald Trump became or won the election. I was not shocked because I could see that the people that counted, not you Negroes, Donald Trump don't need your vote. So what? But the people that really counted, I could see they were leaning towards Donald Trump. I met another Caucasian gentleman, and we had a talk about who am I voting for, and I told him I'm not voting for anyone. I'm not interested. But he was talking about he's voting for Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump says that I can make America great again. Let us make America great again. So when America was great, because it's not great now, what was America involved in? America was involved in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korean War, Iraq War, so forth, and countless wars, endless war. America was involved in slavery, 300 years, Jim Crow. Let's make America great again. That might sound good to Caucasian people. It don't sound good for people with dark skin. Because when America was great, our people were slaves. when America was great, our people were hung on trees, looked like Christmas ornaments, and all kinds of evil. Our people was bombed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, what they call Black Wall Street. You make mockery of black people, calling black folks lazy. But the lazy people, the black folks, are the ones who built this nation. And straight out of slavery, having nothing, because my ancestors, our ancestors, was not giving the 40 acres and a mule, but out of nothing, they made something out of it and was progressing faster than the Caucasian people themselves. So they had to create the Ku Klux Klan and laws to stop our progress. And you wonder why black folks are lazy right now. When I was a child, I saw some ants and they was building this mound. And I would pass by, I would knock the mound down and, you know, laugh, the ants. Come back later, the ants built the mound back. And I knocked it back down again. And we kept doing this back and forth. I'd knock it down and the ants build it up. Pretty soon the ants stop. How long? When the black man and woman in this nation, we begin to progress and try to build something for ourselves. And these Caucasian people come and knock what we build and tear and destroy what we have. How long we are supposed to just keep rebuilding back and forth? And as our whatever we do is built and it's destroyed and tore down, you have others, they are progressing. So now you have a situation, now you're talking about black folks is lazy and all this kind of stuff, but you don't take in consideration the evils that have been done to us. The black code laws, Jim Crow, just outright murder of us, cheating, lying, and stealing from us for hundreds of years, even till this day. Redlining, gentrifications, and all these other things, that black folks are the target. You want to make America great again. The reasons why, and Donald Trump said in his campaign, I want to build a wall, keep the Mexicans out. Not building a wall to keep the Canadians out. It's all right if you Caucasian and Canadian, come on over, buddy. But if you're Mexican, let's build a wall and we're going to make the Mexican government pay for it. What are they going to pay for the wall with? Let us understand something here. If you are rich, how do rich people maintain themselves? Rich and wealthy people maintain themselves because there is an underclass that they are leeching from. That's why you are wealthy and rich, because you are exploiting and leeching the labor from an underclass. So you have the United States of America, who spends its time overthrowing governments, stealing and cheating and lying, exploiting other countries' resources, and you make these countries poor, then what do you expect them to do? Of course they're going to start coming across the border. Then you don't expect them to sit in their nation and starve. And actually, your activity and your actions cause their nation to be in the condition that is in, because you're running out, leeching and stealing, taking more than what you need in order for your nation to survive. And now you want to build a wall. how this, this is wicked thinking. This is wicked activity. There's enough for everybody. Y'all want it all. Just give it all. Y'all remind me of Daffy Duck. It's mine. It's mine, 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 mine. This is the attitude and the mindset and the behaviors of the American Caucasian pink people. You're so damn greedy. And you talk about how hard you work, but your country was built on slave labor. It was slave labor, not Microsoft, not Apple, not none of your companies, not nothing that you've done. It was free labor for 300 years that made this nation rich, whether you like it or not. You can put all your Microsofts and Apples and all your utility companies, everything that you got in one basket, don't come close to the matching what 300 years of free labor done for this nation. So you can shut up and sit the hell down. And this nation benefits from that labor till this day. And the children of the slaves got nothing and still don't get nothing. And you get upset because black folks get a welfare check and pink people get more welfare than any black folks do in this nation. This is a fact. And welfare is not just only that for children, but welfare, there are other forms of welfare that the pink people, you give to yourself. Now, you get upset with Donald Trump, many of you do, because he's a racist. That's what made this country. Racism is what made this country. Why you think the black people were slaves? That's what made this country. That's the foundation. Oh, Donald Trump is a sexist. Like we talked about earlier, strip clubs all over the place, houses of prostitution. You have Miss America, and you tell your women to strip down to almost nothing and parade in front of people, half naked. Throw her butt in people's face all over the world. That's the norm in this nation. Whatever you call Donald Trump, that's just the norm. But you pretend like that's so bad. That's the United States of America. That's what made America great. I don't understand it. Really, I don't understand. You are not moral. You are not holy and righteous. Y'all a bunch of drunks. How much beer is sold in this country? Reefer y'all smoke. Cocaine you snort. Ain't nothing righteous about you. But you want the president supposed to be righteous and holy. The president of the United States is not Pope Paul. And the Pope and the church is not righteous. What do you expect? But I was telling this Caucasian gentleman about whoever becomes president. And he said that he supported Donald Trump. And I told him, sir, it should not matter whether I vote or not. The president should do the right thing for this nation. And the reality of it, if you truly want this nation to be great again, then you must atone for your sins. You must accept the reality that this nation has done wrong. It must clean up its act. All these conflicts and wars. You need to stop dropping all these bombs, all this hate speech, and say, look, y'all, we talk to the so-called terrorists. Look, y'all, we need to stop all this death and destruction. And we got to find a better way. But see, you have people like the Hillary Clinton supporters go out and riot, y'all upset. We have a childlike mentality. You have adults, but there is a childlike mentality. Physically, we are adults. And this is just not Caucasian people. This is all over the world. You have people that's supposed to be, they look like physical adults. Some of them are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 some years old. But they have a mind of a child. When you are a child and you don't know how to think properly, when there is a conflict, the first thing you think of and your reaction for a lot of children is violence. Somebody take your ink pen. You don't think about, let's try to negotiate. Why are you taking my ink pen? Give me my ink pen. It's kapow. All over this nation is bullying and fighting the children. But what are the children? The children are a reflection of the adults, and the adults are children. So instead of talking to ISIS, so instead of talking to Al-Qaeda, instead of really talking to North Korea with respect, this is how silly America is. The president of Iran one year came to the United Nations to make a speech, and these idiots gonna walk out and protest. This is the leader of a nation. You give him the respect just like you give everybody else. But I don't like him. You don't like him because he won't bow down to your childish ways. America always wants others to do and be like them. Do what we want. It's the same thing in the world of religion. They want everybody to worship Jesus, everybody to worship Muhammad, everybody to bow down to their gods and stuff. If you don't, they want to get mad. They will murder you, and they have done it. They will kill you. It's childish. Religion is supposed to be about sincerity. Why do you want to force people to believe in something and you know they are not sincere? But I guess for you, it don't make any difference. Why would God want people to believe and they are not sincere? You cannot force people to believe. If I don't believe in God, that's between me and God. God's supposed to know my heart. You don't. And you force yourself upon others. Do you really want to make America great again? Good question. So we want to bring this talk to conclusion. The president-elect Donald Trump, there are many people who see in this man doom and gloom. It is not Donald Trump that should represent doom and gloom. You live in a nation that has done horrible, evil, wicked things to people, its own citizens, right here, all around the earth. How long do you think this can continue? You have a nation that was born on slavery, theft, stealing, lying, rape, and murder, and this is how America has sustained itself all this time. These things, this foundation has got to crumble sooner or later. How long will people allow you to exploit them? How long will the oil last? How long will these natural resources that you steal, how long will they last? Can Donald Trump really make America great? Not again, because in reality, America has never been great. If America has been great, it has been a great liar, a great murderer, a great destroyer of natural resources, murder of animals, making them extinct all over this planet, seeking material gain, great at making people hate them. The new president-elect Donald Trump needs to be open and honest with the American people and start, if you want to save this nation, this country, and really make it great, then you must be honest. And you must begin a process to heal the wounds of the injuries this nation has caused its own citizens and others around this earth. So you don't have to talk about building a wall. It's enough resources at this time for everybody. For every action, there is a reaction. And you're going to get yours sooner or later. You can't keep robbing banks and think you're going to get away with it. Sooner or later, you hit the wrong bank and it's over. That's why a lot of people are in prison or in the morgue right now, because they didn't know when to stop stealing and robbing. America does not know when to stop. And really, like I say, it can't stop because that's how this country maintains itself. Microsoft, Apple, and all your companies, whatever, that's not what maintaining the wealth in this nation. The government has always practiced a behavior of lying and stealing and doing things to other people around this earth. That's why you can live this wonderful, beautiful, comfortable life that you and I enjoy, while others suffer. Because they are leeching off other people around the earth. Whether it is stealing their natural resources or labor. I want to also say this quickly in my conclusion and send this message to these who are the descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, the people I call of soul. I don't like black. I don't like using that word African. Dark-skinned people did not call themselves black or African. Black is a product of races. Black is a domesticated, dark-skinned person. Just like you domesticate a dog and a cat. Blacks was domesticated to serve the purpose of their Caucasian slave master, and many of you still have that mentality. You still think that you are a slave. I'm not your slave. And that's why many of you can't understand or comprehend what I say or where I'm coming from, because you have a slave mentality. Even some of you that talk about Black Power family, hotel, Ashe. You are an Ashe slave, a Black Power slave. Means nothing. There are thousands of you, and you are still here. You're making no attempt to separate. There is no exodus, because actually you are nothing but a comfortable Negro. And you keep following these pathetic, supposed to be leaders, because they feed your emotion. They feed your mind a picture, and you don't have to do anything. Make you feel good. You go to church every Sunday to feel good. You go to see somebody have a lecture, Black Power lecture, all of it to make you feel good. You go home and then you get drunk and smoke weed. And of course have lots and lots of sex. That's what you are about. You're not about being serious. And that's because you have a childlike mind. And so since you have a childlike mind, it's going to really take something drastic to bring you into reality. So in the scriptures, it talks about the dry bones. And it talks about this great wind, I believe, that has to go over the dry bones. So America and the so-called Negro in this nation, there has to be a great wind. There has to be something devastating, something drastic to happen to make y'all see the reality of your situation. So I don't, if I pray, which I don't, but if I pray, what I hope, and unfortunately it'll hurt me too, but it's in the best interest of us. We need something horrible to happen. We need this great wind to come across these dry bones and make these dry bones come to life and put some flesh on those bones and get them to move. You sit around, most of you watch TV all day. You believe everything that the television and the cable stations, whatever they report, you believe it. And you all caught up in the housewives of Atlanta and the hip hop, whatever, all this silly stuff that y'all watch. I understand, black man and woman, that this is all that we know. But it's time for us to go. It's time for us to leave. You can have birds, blackbirds, but red-winged blackbirds don't interact with blackbirds or the speckled blackbird. They are all separated. You act like there's something wrong with separation. There's nothing wrong with separation, especially in our case, because we have been treated so horribly and still being treated horribly. We don't need to be around people that don't like us. And the reason why we don't like us, because we still live around those who don't like us. That's the reason why we don't like ourselves. But if we separated from these people, then we would find value in ourselves because there's nobody else to depend on. But as long as I got a good job that my massa give me, then you see no value in your brother. As long as massa gave me a PhD or some degree or whatever, and I got a nice house, Negro, I don't need you. Those who want to stay slaves and keep kissing Caucasian people in their backside, that's fine and dandy. But there are many of you who claim that you're ready to exodus, that you're ready to go. Then you need to begin to take the appropriate actions, but you don't because you're comfortable in your beautiful house. You got a nice job. You have a wonderful 401k program, you know. Let's be honest. Let's stop all this fake stuff. Y'all just too fake. That's why so many don't like the realities temple on earth, because you got to come here and you got to be real. If you're a Negro slave, just say it. If I was just a Negro slave and I'm comfortable with what's going on, I would tell you, look, hey, I'm a Democrat. I like America. You know, they lynch Negroes now and then, but so what? It's cool. I would tell you that. I'm not going to fake the funk like Black Power, and you are no better than the people that you call coon, because your lazy fake self is right here with them. You ain't doing no better. You're doing the exact same thing. When you go into your pocket, you got a picture of Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, or whoever. That's the money you spend. Your face is not on it. So what makes you any different than the coon? And that goes to show you how childish you are anyway. Don't talk about it, be about it. But you're not. So what makes you any different than the coon? The things that the so-called Negro in this country are doing has failed. What you should learn from President-elect Donald Trump campaign was unorthodox. He was out of the norm. Everything Donald Trump was, he's out of the norm. Creative in what they were in the strategy. And that strategy ultimately paid off. And the opponents thought, with no doubt, they were going to be the winners. See, you have to think that same way. Many of you think this is the 1960s. This is not the 1960s. This is not the 1970s, 80s, and so forth. You think that you are living with Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey has not been here. You think that you are living with Malcolm X. They are not here. I respect and I love those men and all of our freedom fighters. But many of them are not with us anymore. And some of our people, they are old. They are out of date. It's over. They are veterans. They lost the war. Now you learn from their mistakes and you use your brain and be like Donald Trump. And you come up with a unorthodox, different strategy, something that your enemies have never seen. They never seen nobody do what Donald Trump. His whole strategy was unorthodox. His actions, the whole thing was, that threw everybody for a loop. You march and you protest. Your enemies know about how to deal with you. You marching and you protesting. You call the white man the devil. They used to all that stuff. They used to Black Power family. They used to all that stuff. Y'all ain't doing nothing new. You don't impress nobody. They're not worried about you. And you are not as serious as the people who originally done those things. They know this. You will hype yourself up and then you're going to sit your lazy, fake self. You're going to sit down. It's as simple as that. When you come to this, rostrum, you need to come with new creative vigor. I want to introduce to you and ask you to watch my video called Real Solution for the Problems of Black People in America. I have it under many titles, but if you Google, you will find it. Real Solution for Problems of Black People in America. It's an outline. If we follow that outline and we bring our brains together, not my brain. I can't do it by myself and I don't know how. But if we follow that outline and bring our brains together, plural, the condition of the black man and woman in this country would change almost overnight. You won't believe it. If you are sincere and you are serious and you are willing, if necessary, to die. Not necessarily you have to die fighting some enemy, but you can die if you were trying to build your own nation and you were put on land and you have to be the one to go in and build your nation from scratch. You have to fight tigers and snakes and so forth. See, that's the reality of nation building. Y'all ain't ready. There are black towns in this nation, maybe even black cities controlled by black people, the people of soul, that you could build up right now. You're not even doing that. If you have not built a neighborhood or a town or a city, how you gonna build a nation? And you can do it comfortably right here. Your thinking is delusional. Ain't no nation, ain't no alien, ain't no spaceship, ain't no God's gonna come and do nothing for you and me. That's the bottom line. You have to change your strategy, because the strategy, the things that you're doing must be brought up to date, or it must be put to the side and try something new. And you will win your campaign just like President-elect Donald Trump. I guarantee it. It's guaranteed. Stop living in la-la land. Accept the reality of your situation. Embrace the guideline. Submit it to your leaders and your people. Share it. Far as I know, ain't nobody telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about on that issue. But the reality is, I know y'all really don't, you really don't want to be free. You really don't want liberation. Not really. It's a bunch of talk. I understand that, because really, when you've been locked up for a long, long time, freedom is scary. I understand. But don't fake the funk. With that said, thank you for listening. Jot down your comments. Let's continue this conversation. And I do wish the best for Donald Trump. However, he may be the catalyst, that great wind to bring in, that great wind to come in, that must come over the dry bones. And the dry bones are not only dark-skinned people, but all so-called human beings. Thank you for listening. As Don Cornelius used to say, in parting, I wish us love, peace, and soul.